Good morning, my crafty friends, and welcome back to my glue book. I've shuffled through my box of prompts, and today's prompt is hearts. Let's glue with me. I gathered together a whole load of papers and stickers and bits and bobs that I had that were hearts or that coordinated with the heart paper that I'm mostly going to use as the background. So I'm just tearing off rectangles of bits. Some of my pages I might cut, some of them I tear. I like the teared effect, that it's just kind of a bit more random. And so I'm just adding these to the background just with some placement, and I've chosen a coordinating one just to add into the background. I'm not too fussed about covering the whole background because what I'm going to put on top is quite a lot of hearts that will coordinate with this background. You can see I've gathered quite a few papers together. So I decided to just leave it like that, get that glued down. I'm using my chunky glue stick today for the background, just because it gives a wider coverage and I can just quickly glue it down, and so we're glued. And now I'm going to use some of the coordinating backgrounds and I'm just going to doodle some hearts on. I do have a terrible case of the shakes today. I have functional neurological disorder, which affects my coordination, speech, and fine motor skills when I'm having a flare up. So today is a really shaky day, but we're just going to keep going with it. I never let it stop me. So I just drew a whole load of doodle hearts on the backing papers, and I'm just using a black fine line pen that I picked up on my travels. I think it's a Papermate one, not sure, but it gives a nice crisp line. And then I'm going to cut out these little hearts and I'm going to use them on my page. So here we go. So please let me apologise about the state of my nails. I was printing with printing ink before I did this, and I tried to scrub the ink out of my nails, but some of it is still there. So I'm not got dirty nails, they're inky nails. So I'm just finishing off cutting them, and then I will use these hearts on my page. I do have a heart die cut here. I might use, I might not, I'm not sure yet. So I'll have to see where the page goes. I kind of had an idea in my head of what I wanted to do, but I wasn't 100% sure. And then I picked up these years ago. They're wallpaper samples that I picked up from a lady. I've got loads of them, and they've just sat in my crafting drawers, and I'm not really sure what I was going to do with them. So I grabbed the heart one out today, and I'm just going to cut round some of the hearts. And I'm going to use these on the page. I think they're stickers. I can't quite remember, but we'll find out when we start to stick them down. They feel a bit vinyl-y, but they're nice bright colours, and the hearts match the colour theme of the backing papers, those pinks and that dark red and the dark purples. I'm going to keep the angel heart to one side because I'm going to use that as the centrepiece, the focal point for my page. So I'm just going to use these bits for now, and I'm going to stick them on the page. So just clear some of the scrappy bits off my desk. It gets a bit of a mess while I'm crafting. Gather up my baby hearts and let's have a fight with the sticker. I soon realised they're not stickers, or if they are, they don't come off the backs easily, so I just started gluing them down. I did cut the fight I had with the stickers because it went on for quite a while before I realised. So I'm just gluing these around the edge of the page, remembering that I'm going to keep the angel heart as my focus for this page. So I want to keep the kind of the middle of the page a little bit clearer. Okay. I really like this heart. I think this is my favourite one on the page. It kind of is a bit jazzy. It's got a bit lacy edge, and I quite like it. So you can see already I'm covering up most of those white gaps that are left in between the scrap of papers at the background. I felt like I needed one more heart, So I started to cut out one, and then I was like, oh no, let's use this one. So I found this one that's a half heart of the Queen of Hearts. I decided against the zebra print one. I'll use that in a different project later on, I think. So this is another corner one, so I'm just going to glue it into the corner, and I decided once I started to place it that I needed to move one of the hearts that already stuck. So fortunately it didn't rip too much as I pulled it off, and then I just trimmed it up and glued that part back down again. I will, once I've completely finished the page, just strip off all the excess. So because this one is my focal heart, I thought I'd add the doodle outline to it. You can see my shakes a little bit more in this. But speeding up video releases some of the shakes. It just means the lines aren't quite so crisp as I'd probably like them. And then I'm just kiss cut these hearts, the same as I did with the smaller hearts, just so you can see some of the background on it as well. And this being my focal point, I think it's going to cover the big part of the middle. Yeah. And then we'll get to the sticking down of the mini hearts, and I'm going to just pair them up so they're in pairs. And hopefully it'll just bring the whole page together. So let's stick that angel heart down first. Pop it in the middle of the page. You can really see the ink in my nails. I look like I've got filthy nails. No, they're just inky. They're crafter's hands. So using a smaller glue stick now for the smaller hearts, just so I don't end up putting too much glue on my cutting board or the page. And I've glued all the hearts down now and used the sticker. I did look at the rest of the sticker page for a little mini heart, but couldn't find one. So not one that I liked anyway, so I put that to one side. And these are my prompt sheets, and I just went through and found any that kind of related to hearts or love. So a dream is a wish your heart makes. I think that's really cute. And then I think I chose the other one. What did it say? Do what you love. Yeah. I'm quite enjoying making these videos, speeding it up and then talking over the top of them. It kind of gives me a chance to reflect on what I've done as well. So hopefully you'll be able to see very quickly how the page comes together. It's half the time for you to watch, and it gives me a chance to just talk over the top and not waffle too much. So I'm just going over the prompt heart just to make it stand out a bit, and I've just given it that border. And then I'm going to glue it down onto the edge of the page so it's hanging over. And I did this with the last prompt as well with G. It just so when the book's closed, I can instantly see what prompt is on each page.